Laughter, laughter, laughter. For Arthur Fleck, every burst out laughing is a reminder of his misery and the stark contrast between his own experiences and the idealized notion of family and society. Ironically, Arthur's whole life is so paradoxical that one could easily mistake his suffering for genuine laughter in most scenes. Raised by a narcissistic delusional mother that calls him happy, Arthur is compelled to embody joy and pleasure. However, his miserable outlook and medical condition makes him the furthest thing away from a successful comedian. Of course, it's possible that his decision to pursue a career as a clown stems from an unconscious attempt to conceal the weight of his suppressed memories of childhood abuse. This way of channeling frustration is a defense mechanism called reaction formation and occurs when a person unconsciously replaces unwanted or anxiety-provoking impulses with their opposite. As a failed comedian that has been isolated from social interactions, Arthur's objective reality is unstable and fragile. As a result, he resorts to taking medication, caring for his mother, and clinging to the hope of recognition, endorsement, and love in his imaginations. Immersing himself in fantasy and imaginary scenarios has likely developed as a way to cope with his mother's abusive treatment. By creating an imaginary world where he is loved and cherished, Arthur escapes the frustrations of reality and is able to fulfill his desires and expectations. However, these fantasies do him no good in the real world, and as we saw in the movie, he struggles to ask Sophie out on a date or to attend Murray's show as an audience member. But in all fairness, Gotham City is not a place where ordinary citizens can succeed. When power is centralized in a society, ordinary citizens have limited opportunities to express themselves without becoming targets of violence and ridicule. In such circumstances, escaping to the realm of fantasy appears to be a reasonable choice. So Arthur's desire to be locked up in a hospital or confined in a fridge where he can physically shield himself from the harsh external world is justified. During the movie, Arthur's dire economic condition serves as a recurring theme. In his journal, he writes jokes like, "I hope my death makes more sense than my life." In another one he wrote, "Why are poor people always confused? Because they don't make any sense." As someone that takes pride in being the man of the house, and someone with deep empathy for others, the widespread issue of poverty undoubtedly leaves a lasting impact on him. Simultaneously, the disdainful attitudes of wealthy and influential figures like Thomas Wayne, who look down upon the less fortunate and even have the audacity to label them as clowns, fuel the residents' anger and resentment, leading to a social movement. Now let's analyze the characteristics of the Joker and Arthur Fleck to make sense of how this transformation occurred. Joker is an agent of chaos with endless narratives that each justifies his disregard for social rule and order. His primary motivation lies in exposing the hypocrisy between the standards that society claims to uphold and the harsh reality of social life. By putting on a smiling facade that rains chaos and fear, the Joker tries to find justice in a new order, one where corrupt and powerful individuals pay the price for their indecent deeds. Arthur's paradoxical life provides the perfect stage for emergence of such a character, as all the foundational concepts upon which one builds their life are turned on their head. Laughter becomes synonymous with sadness, maternal love and care morphs into torture and abuse, his friends betray him, and even his idol, Murray Franklin, mocks his performance before inviting him into the show to further humiliate him. Confronted with these traumatic events one after another, the only action that makes sense to Arthur and alleviates his pain is the act of killing those 3 despicable Wall Street employees who were harassing a lady in the subway. Following the shootout, he panics and flees, desperately searching for a place to be alone. That's where he finds a public restroom where he spontaneously breaks into dance. Arthur's dancing reflects a state of liberation and relief, and throughout the film we witness the evolution of his dance from a slow and private manner to a more chaotic and public form of expressing satisfaction. Joker's dark brand of comedy has the power to expose every type of hypocrisy and exact extreme retribution for injustices, whether they originate from an abusive mother, disloyal friend, or a devious role model. The Joker has no friend, no family, and no heroes, which explains why he subjectively fails to find humor in others' jokes. Instead, he derives amusement from tragic events that align with his twisted perspective. The audience and supporters of this type of comedy are individuals who, like the Joker, have experienced alienation from society and have nothing to lose. Thank you for watching this video. Please share your thoughts on the movie in the comments section below.